Yeah,
Yes.
that's Sylvie, right?
Uh-huh.
So she loves your work, and Sylvie, you've just been so encouraging. But we're going to talk about Sylvie and a number of other people. I'm going to be putting up different pictures, everybody. But I do have surprises for Phil. I'm going to do it again for Neil, and Neil has no idea what's coming. So the first part of this show, we'll probably edit out or something like that. It's live, everybody. I've got to ask you, instead of asking you about pictures and stuff like that, and I told you I was going to be weird with you. Phil, my goodness. Neil, I'm
Yes.
just going to keep doing
Yes,
Just call me.
Alfred.
Give me There you go. I was waiting for you to do it. I should have recorded our video chat that we had when we
I
first met.
know.
That was, yeah, it was really crazy.
I don't know whether YouTube would accept that one.
Nah, probably not. Probably not. Probably a lot of things they don't want discussed. So I want your opinion and viewpoint. By the way, he has no idea what I'm going to ask him. I want your opinion and viewpoint. This has nothing to do with anything we talked about ever on relationships. And it is a family show. So I want your opinion. Look at the look on his face. I want your opinion. She's going like, I am going to kill him. I want. We forged a good friendship across
Well,
the planet, but your opinion and thoughts on relationships. We're going to get to photography, everybody. I got a lot in store for you, but go ahead.
but yeah, but what kind of relationships? I mean, are we talking
Oh man,
romantic
I should have
relationships?
known better. I should have known better.
Are
Okay,
we,
so here we go.
I'm an engineer by trade, so
Oh yeah, I see you reverse engineer me right now. So here we go. Give me your opinion on relationships between a man and a woman. What, in your opinion, causes difficulty in relationships today?
I think there's probably a good couple of things. And having been through a couple of relationships myself in the last couple of few years, I think certainly this day and age, one of the biggest problems, and it always has been, I think, is money.
Hmm,
Finances are always a
interesting.
big thing. Um, and I find it's really quite strange because I find that despite in America anyway, despite women wanting to be and rightly so treated as equals, they still looking for the man to provide for them, and not the other way around. And I think
Hmm,
and with the the work environment is not always that great. Wages are not great at the moment, so I think that can cause problems. Especially, um, but communication is probably the biggest problem
hmm,
between
interesting.
a man and a woman. Um, and I think with a lot of men, it's a pride issue. They don't want to be seen to be weak or uh, being soft or whatever. They still want to carry that manly mantle, I guess.
Being soft or whatever. They
Um,
still want to carry that.
um, Girls, ladies, females, they want to know what's going on,
Hmm.
and often men just don't want to talk. Just don't want to talk. Um,
Why
but
why do you think
communication is it's a big.
why do you think guys do that? Again, everybody, if you're coming in and you want to see the photography and a number of other things, we're going to talk about that. We are going to get to that, but I have a few little sidebar things I want to throw at Phil, and because we had such a great
Neil,
conversation.
please.
Yeah.
Neil.
So I'm sorry, Neil. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. I told him I was gonna get him and do some stuff to him, and okay, so I have to admit, I'm trying to rattle you, but it's not working. All right, so Neil, this isn't what we talked about ahead of time, but why do you think men let their ego get in the way when it comes to communication?
I think it's a combination. I think of especially kind of our generation.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Boomers,
I know what you mean.
boomers, and Gen X.
Hmm.
And of course, you're Gen Z, so I've got to be
Don't whatever. Don't even go. Okay.
But I know
You're going.
like
Wait.
boomers-
You're the one going to Paris. It's going to be turning what? 59. 59. Okay.
Get the fuck out of here, man. We're talking.
I don't know why he takes it such an insult. I just okay. Go ahead. You were going to say
30
about communication. What?
35,
You're
35.
35. No, 30. Jack Benny 39. Jack Benny 39. So
All right, 39.
go ahead.
I'll take
You're
that.
Yeah, take 30. Trust me. Take 39. Take 39.
I'll go with it.
Because once
Yeah.
you get 40, everything changes after that. Well, that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that. Go ahead. You were going to say communication.
Yeah, thanks for
To keep
thanks for
both
being
of us
so,
on topic, for us both to be on topic is going to be hard. But go ahead.
It is, I know. Yeah, I think it's a generational thing. Not specifically, but it tends to be a generational thing. I feel, and the way we were brought up, our parents, our fathers were kind of the man of the household, stiff upper lip. And I'm British by birth, so I think probably more so in the UK with that stiff upper lip.
Right.
And in this country, kind of cowboys don't cry kind of attitude.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Which I think, as I say, I think it's a generational thing. It's the way we were brought up, and it's a societal thing with that generation that we were brought up with. In my kind of estimation.
Well, a number of people I've talked to, men, say exactly the same thing you said. Well, how does that work for you then when you, in relationship with the models that you work with, or when you're on a shoot, how do you master the art of communication to get some of and let me go ahead. I'm going to put some things up for everybody to take a look at while we're talking. How do you master to get individuals to pose and get the right shot that you want? What is your communication style, would you say, as a photographer?
I've got a whip on the wall. I have a whip on the wall behind me.
You're a sick puppy. You're one sick puppy. I've been waiting to tell you that for a long. After I got done talking to you, the first time I went I thought I was a troubled person. That's a troubled man right there. But he's funny as I don't know what. He's a funny son of a gun. All right, so outside of the whip, how do you get these models to give you the pose and communicate it to them and still respect their dignity?
It's actually, I mean, I'm probably not typical of my generation of male in those kind of terms. And I lived in Africa for many years. And I've done a lot of, training in communication and customer satisfaction skills and so on and so forth. And I think just my nature as well allows me to be a lot more open than a lot of guys possibly would do. And I'm not an authoritarian kind of person, especially in the studio. I never ever just start a shoot the moment somebody walks in the studio, especially if it's somebody new. I mean, I'll spend a good half an hour, 45 minutes talking with them before we even start a shoot. And I think once we got them, that relaxation, it makes everything so much easier. I mean, Sammy, the lady you see here, I've been working with her since 2017. So we almost never need to actually say anything in the studio because we know what's going on.
Right.
That's just an unspoken thing. But with a lot of newer people that come into the studio, especially complete amateurs, wanting headshots and whatnot.
Right.
I think just getting them relaxed to start with, getting them on my side, cracking a few jokes. Being a little bit kind of not quite so straight laced and just being a little bit risque at times as well can help, just to break the ice.
What is there about Sammy that you've come to conclude makes it easy for you to be Neil when you be a photographer? Because at some point you're not just a photographer anymore. You're just Neil and Sam in a shoot, kind of, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. Well, we've developed a pretty good friendship over the
Okay.
years, and the good
Hmm.
the well we the reason that we actually initially got together was we met each other during New York Fashion Week in 2017,
Okay.
and I found out that Sammy was from Botswana in Africa.
Oh, okay. Oh, let's
So
clarify. I'm sorry. Let me clarify. What is your connection to South Africa, if any?
I lived in Johannesburg for 24 years.
Okay. Just wanted the audience to know that so everybody get an idea. But go ahead. You were going to
Yeah,
say about Sammy.
yeah. So with Sammy being from Botswana, which is very close
Hmm.
of South Africa, and
Hmm.
I traveled to
She's a very
to
beautiful.
Botswana.
She's a very beautiful woman, by the way. I was going to say.
Oh yeah, Sammy, did you hear that? Uh,
You
I'll get
no,
you a
I
trip
had
to
to
LA,
clear up
don't you
some.
worry.
Everybody, I'm doing that for a reason, and the reason is not to cut him off because he asked me that before we got started, and I said I wasn't going to say anything until the show. So I had to stick it in there real quick. Okay, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. You're going to say.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the what was the question after all?
I don't know.
Throwing
I
that
don't
little
know, but
curveball.
I had to get it out. This is what happens. Hey, this is what happens on the internet, everybody. On the internet, if you come and watch two old guys talking, we have to throw things in real before we forget. Okay, go ahead. But
Yeah, you
Sammy's
talk for
beautiful.
yourself
Sammy's
there.
beautiful. Let me clarify that because I didn't want to say it before
Yeah.
the show. I want to sound like I was hating on her, but nothing like that.
Okay, so
I-
you actually asked what makes it. Yes. So
yes. What makes
and
it?
yeah, that connection, that point of interest or commonality between the two of us, both myself having lived in South Africa for 24 years and having visited her country many times. So and Sammy doesn't live in New York. She lives at the moment. She lives in Nebraska,
Wow. Okay.
but I mean, she does a lot of traveling through her job, normal job.
Mhm.
She's not a full time model. So we try, where possible, to shoot at least twice a year,
Mhm.
mainly in the studio. Although you'll see from some of the stuff that I sent you, we've done quite a bit in New York City as well.
All right.
But the our first shoot, in fact, was done in New York City. First ever shoot that we did. Excuse me.
Mhm.
We ended up doing some really cool photographs outside the Guggenheim,
Wow,
and
dude.
and the one photograph, it's kind of become a bit of an iconic photograph. I don't think I sent it to you, unfortunately, but it is on my Instagram where she
We'll
stood
do it
on
on the
the.
next show. We'll do
Yeah,
it on
she
the
stood.
next show. Oh, I'll
She
put it up
stood.
on the Instagram and maybe we'll find it. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's the one where she stood on a wall outside the Guggenheim, and the Guggenheim is like huge in the background, but Sammy just completely commands the scene,
Wow.
and
Uh,
I think from we got on so well on that shoot that we knew that we were just going to be doing this as much as we possibly could,
yeah. Right. Right.
and
Yeah.
and there's an end goal. There is an end goal. We're not just taking photographs for taking photographs' sake.
Correct. Hmm.
We've put Sammy in. She uses stuff for her modeling portfolio for her book. We've put stuff in magazines. We're going to be doing another shoot soon. That's going into a new magazine that I'm working with. And our end goal is probably to put a coffee table book together of all the shoots that we've done.
There you go. That's the way to do it. Yeah.
So,
Way to
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Okay. So here we go. I'm gonna move on to this one. Picture here. Who is that?
That's Sylvie.
Oh, it is. Oh, man, I'm so fired. I couldn't tell. Okay, because there she is again,
Yeah,
and
so,
here as well.
yeah.
Tell me more about this young lady.
Well, this young lady lives in France, and we connected on Instagram
Hmm.
maybe 4 or 5 years ago,
Wow.
and we chat every now and again, nothing crazy or whatever. And anyway,
Hmm.
the spring of this year, she was actually coming over. Her one daughter was in school over here
Hmm.
on an international exchange, and so she came over with her youngest daughter and met the other daughter in. They were going to go to Miami. It just so happened that I was down in Palm Beach at the time, so we agreed to meet up. She was in Lauderdale by the sea, close to Fort Lauderdale. So it's not a very long drive from Palm Beach, West Palm Beach. So we decided to get together and do a shoot. And because Sylvie does some modeling herself back in France, and we did this really cool shoot down in Lauderdale by the sea, which is a beautiful seaside town.
Nice. And I just have to ask, what did you like about the shoots you did with her?
The shoot.
What did you enjoy?
Well, I mean, she's got a lot of great energy. She's a very fun person. She's a very fun person. Apart from being beautiful, she's got a wonderful heart, and she's done modeling, but she's not a professional model. So I think it was kind of a learning process for her and for me, because I was working with somebody from overseas that hadn't worked, and then of course it was a great location. Weather was gorgeous. The only thing I didn't like was I was wearing shorts, and we were in the ocean, and I kept on getting waves hitting me in places that
I don't. You know what?
It was a little bit cold at times.
All I can tell you is I understand, and every man listening to you understands what you say.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
But you handled it like a trooper. You stuck it there and got the shoot done.
So did Sylvie, because she was in the ocean as well, taking the photographs.
Well, okay,
underneath
that's
the pier.
true. That's true.
Underneath
That's true. Also,
yeah, but I mean, she was also, and I think she was just very open to anything that I wanted to do, and
cool.
and of course,
nice.
I mean, how could I not enjoy taking photographs of a beautiful little French lady?
No, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. She did. That's really, 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 really good to look at the work that you do. And for those of you who have been with us for a number of years and following us, and now are enjoying our Man with the Mic show, I'm going to put this up here. Hopefully, I can get it in here. Maybe I can't. See, I got that. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get another one in. It's not going to let me. Okay.
Yeah. You don't want to know about that. Get rid
no,
of it.
no. Yes, I do. No, I was trying to put up some. I'm gonna put up your Instagram in just a moment. I was just gonna tell everybody, just stick around. I'm gonna show you how you can get a hold of Neil during the show here, and of course, check all of our platforms that we have, and here at Man with the Mic, and you'll be able to connect with him. This picture right here. Tell us about it.
This was taken during the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
And this is New York City. It's actually West 10th Street, which is down very close to, for those that don't know New York City, it's very close to Wall Street. So there's a whole series of photographs. This bridge that you see here is a pedestrian bridge. And an engineering company that I got to know out on Long Island had done a bunch of stainless steel cladding on the side of this bridge, and they wanted photographs. They wanted me to photograph that. So once I'd finished doing the stuff for them, I had an ultra wide angle lens on, and you would never see New York City so empty. I think there was
I was just about to say, it looks like a ghost town.
Yeah, it was ghost town because it was like bang in the middle of the pandemic. Wow. I mean, to give you an idea, I would get I got the subway from Penn Station in Midtown down to Wall Street, the 3 train or whatever it was, and I was like the only person on the subway.
Wow, dude, it's crazy.
So I was able to do this project for the client very, very easily because I didn't have to worry about pedestrians and whatnot. So anyway, I decided, once I'd finished, that I wanted to get a bunch of photographs of myself.
Yeah.
And it's great because the Freedom Tower is kind of central. Yeah, everywhere you look there, you'll see the Freedom Tower because it's that close. And this is shot actually with a 14mm ultra wide angle lens, so that gives that like really strange perspective of the buildings falling in and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And yeah, I mean, I could correct that in Photoshop and whatever, but I didn't want to. I kind of wanted to give
I
that.
love the shot, actually.
Yeah, I really wanted to give that perspective and kind of everything. For me, everything, the way the buildings are falling over and everything leads straight into the Freedom Tower,
Yeah.
which is standing. It's not huge in the shot, but everything leads into it, and it's standing there completely upright.
Yeah. And it takes the eye right to that, like you're saying, they're leaning in as if they're pointing at the Freedom Tower.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, I'm not somebody that puts any great meaning behind my photographs or anything like that. You know, there's no profound deepness or anything like that. But to have the Freedom Tower standing, almost like standing there as a sentinel whilst everything seems to be falling in on top of it, given why it was erected in the first place.
Yeah. Okay, you don't put any meaning into your pictures. So what does this mean?
It doesn't. No, I mean.
I'm just messing with you.
No, there's no real meaning.
All of a sudden, hey, everybody, he got serious real quick. Look at him. He's going to go, wait a minute now. This one has a meaning. Okay, go ahead.
There's no real. There's no real there's no real meaning there. I mean, that's just it's. I mean, if you want to, you can see that there's you know, motion, and
yeah,
you can pick up the kind of the frantic pace of it being in a rodeo.
Right.
But it's really just because I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes,
you know what? I noticed that about your pictures. This is like, you don't have to do, but you just something you want to do. Okay, tell everybody what's happening when it comes to PBR.
Okay,
we talked a little bit about it, and we tossed that in, and everybody pay close attention because I love bull riding from my Arizona days.
Yes,
in Arizona.
For those
and all
of
that
you don't,
stuff. Yeah. So go ahead. Tell everybody.
Yeah. For those
you surprised me. You surprised me with this, but go ahead.
Yeah. PBR. For those who don't know, is professional bull riding. And I didn't know until about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago that New York has actually got a professional bull riding team called the New York Mavericks, and they are having their home stand in at the USB Arena in Queens, New York, next Friday. And I found this out because a PR company that I work with actually contacted me, and I've worked with them before. I've been on a couple of press trips with them.
Nice.
And asked me if I would like to go and get media credentials. So I'm going to be going down, and I'll probably end up doing something like this with the bulls and getting something a little bit different to what the thing is, I don't want to be the same as it. Anybody, I think, can go and get photographs of rodeo or bull riding or whatever, where
it's the same. It's relatively the same. Yeah.
So I want to do something a little bit different and make it into more of an art photograph than a documentary photograph, but at the same time documenting it. And I will be. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm going to be documenting. Excuse me. I'm going to be documenting the PBR next week in terms of my camera.
Okay.
And,
all right.
And I'm going to be writing a story. I do a little bit of writing for a magazine now and again as well. So
nice.
I'll be writing about that.
Nice. But
this, I think, you know, I mean, I've got a ton of photographs that I took at Rodeo. I don't know if you can see that. They're on the front of my phone.
Yeah. And also, and I think you sent me that one too. I know I got this one here. I need to pull it up, the other one. But
there's some
you got some really good shots. Yeah, you got some really good shots. Let me see if I got the other one here. Everybody hang in there for a second. I'm hanging out with my buddy Neil here, so you guys got to go handle your business. Did you only send me two? Or am I only looking at two? I think I only got two Rodeo before. Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on. Take that back. I think you sent me three. And here comes the other one. It's just loading up right now. And there it is. I think you have three. You add a different flavor to it. Now for amateur photographers, What are we talking about to get this shot right here? If an amateur photographer
first of
is
all-
listening,
Well, first of all, this is a composite. This is 2 photographs in one.
got it.
Okay, so it's really quite simple, and even an amateur photographer will know about this. Excuse me, and all of this. It's just basically a technique they call shutter drag, which means that you just open the exposure on your camera for a tenth of a second or whatever, so that you get that motion, but at the same time, pan with the subject, move the camera with the subject.
Got it.
So that kind of, so you get a little bit of freeze in the motion, a bit of definition, but you also get that movement. So you get that blurry feeling. The background blurs, the subject blurs a little bit. But so obviously the win situation is that you get that background nice and blurred. I don't want that the subject to be completely sharp and defined. But I need it to be defined enough that people can say, "Hey, that's a rodeo horse."
You can at least tell what it
it's
is, right?
somebody at a rodeo. Yeah, you can tell the horse. You can tell that's actually a girl on that horse doing barrel riding or whatever, and you can tell that it's and it may not be actually, and you can tell that there's a cowboy hat, there's a Stetson or a cowboy hat on there.
The eye can at least frame it up and get an idea. Go ahead. You were going to say, please. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you'll notice that whoever's riding that horse is wearing a white hat. Well, the first time I went to a rodeo was in the middle of August, and guess who wore a black Stetson? Which
You didn't. You didn't.
Fact,
Your head must have been hot.
I did. It was. Yeah, I found out. Out afterwards that my Stetson was in fact a winter Stetson.
Yeah, that's good.
and August in Montana can get quite warm.
Oh man, I've never been there. Look forward to going there, but not with a black Stetson. I can tell you that.
No.
Not during that time.
No. And
Unless it's winter time.
Exactly. This was taken in. This was in August as well, actually. July or August. This was in Big Sky, Montana.
Big Sky, Montana.
Yeah.
Okay, then tell me. Go ahead, please. I'm sorry, you were going to say.
So yeah. This is a small little private ranch. It's a working ranch called Lone Mountain Ranch, and all of the rodeo participants are currently work on that ranch as ranch hands and whatever they do, taking people on horse riding and stuff, all sorts of stuff. And they just have this little, every Tuesday for two months, I think, in the summer, they have a little rodeo there where they have little competitions against the local ranches.
I like that.
And
That's cool.
and it's a lot of fun. It's very kind of very definitely very all American.
I miss that kind of stuff. Going to go watch that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and national anthems played, and there's beer and burgers and stuff like that in the ticket.
Well, just the beer and the burgers. I go there for that. See
just
how
go
long
for
a
the
guy
beer.
can
I
ride
know
a bull.
that.
Yeah. You should know that by now. Hey, so now, okay, here we go. You sent me a series of pictures. I'm only picking this one right now, but here we go. Were you wearing a Speedo when you did this? Did you take that picture?
I'm not telling you.
About the Speedo or taking the picture? Which one? Make up your mind, buddy. Make up your mind, buddy. Which one you're not going to tell me?
Hey, listen. That's the kind of advertising I don't need to do.
Hey, you get a different type of crowd when your business there. You won't be showing it on YouTube. What I was gonna be a jerk. Okay, so were you underwater? Were you in a shark cage? What's up?
No, okay. So first of all, that's a nursery shark, so it's probably only about 3 foot long. This was taken in Dubai.
Wow.
And it's in an aquarium. It's in an aquarium at Atlantis the Royal. I was lucky enough last year to go on an individual press trip to Atlantis the Royal. I was there for 4 days, and the sister property, Atlantis the Palm. Sorry, this is Atlantis the Palm. Atlantis the Palm has got a huge, great big aquarium, It's 3 million gallons. They've got 65,000 sea creatures in there. So as part of the kind of media trip that I got, I was given, a free entry into the aquarium.
Okay.
So this was actually taken through glass. However,
Oh, okay.
I did go.
Yeah.
I did go down with the sharks a little bit later on during the day, because they have a thing called Aquatrack, where you put on this like 70-pound diving helmet and a wetsuit, and they pump oxygen in, and you go walking around the bottom of the aquarium for about 25 minutes.
Wow.
With the rays and the sharks, and there's sand sharks and nursery sharks and whatnot. But this was taken through glass, and again, it's kind of almost like the rodeo photographs, except for here I'm not moving the camera. I'm just going with a slower shutter speed and just letting the motion of the fish and the sharks and everything create the blur.
Was that by choice, or was it by recommendation for you not to be down there moving, or was it you were trying to get a shot that way?
No, it's just because I don't know how to use my camera.
This is what I got to deal with, people. You got to understand what I got to deal with when I'm talking to Neil. Now you know why I call him Phil. So it's a go ahead.
It was a pure mistake. Pure mistake. No, it's.
And by the way, if you hire him, he's very humble. So just want you to know that he knows exactly nothing except what he's doing. He knows nothing except what he's doing. So don't challenge him on what he's doing. He knows exactly how to get the shot he wants. Other than that, he knows nothing else. No, just kidding.
No, I'm like, if I stick my camera up against this glass and I go with a 30th of a second, what'll happen? Either that or I didn't have
scratch off professional and put the word amateur in crayon right above your name. Go ahead.
Or I lost my glasses and I couldn't see what was on the, all the settings from my camera.
You thought they were people and it was sharks, baby sharks. Okay, so all right, now here we go. I gotta ask you another one. Just you sent me some really good shots. Okay, so what's going on here? Who's this?
That's a lady by the name of Lucy, who that was taken at my studio. That was just before the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
Just before the pandemic. I think it was towards the end of 2019, beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
And so I can't remember who recommended that she came to me, but she came to me anyway to start getting photos for her modeling portfolio. And we did 2 shoots actually. We did digital, so again the week after, I think. And she came in with her boyfriend Andrew. She's since moved to the West Coast actually.
Well, okay. So I expect you to come out here. I expect you to come out here and do some shoots, and we go into a recording studio.
I tagged Lucy in my story on Instagram earlier, so she knows about it.
Very good.
And so what we did, and I love doing stuff like this where, I love torture, so I just spray them with water and glycerine and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't care if your makeup runs and whatnot. Let's get it raw.
YouTube. He didn't mean what you may think he meant. He meant positive torture. Was shooting them with glistening water. And so you what, a spray bottle? You got a spray bottle to get that look? Was that what you
said? Yeah, spray bottle with water and glycerine. We mixed glycerine with it because it gives it more of that wet look, and it beats it, and it helps the water beat up as well. And Lucy was obviously down for this. I mean, she loved the idea. A lot of people love that. There's 2 things I like to do: is that kind of wet look and bring in a wind machine, because girls like to have their hair blowing all over the place and whatnot.
Did you bring in a wind machine on this one, or you don't know? Remember? Do you remember?
No, this was
just a natural. That was just the spray bottle. Wow.
Yeah,
because both looks are amazing. How you
and I'm using and I'm using a much harder light there.
Okay.
I love lighting stuff. I don't use hard light very often, but this was just kind of a single small light, so that it gives it that very crisp, kind of grungy look, and a bit of
that's what I noticed. Yeah,
and there's a bit of I put a bit of a color grading on top of it as well afterwards.
Got it,
I probably shot it at probably photographed it at a lower color temperature as well, a cooler color temperature to add more blue into the photograph initially.
There's energy coming out of the pictures, out of both of her pictures.
I mean, look at her eyes.
Yeah.
Just look at her eyes. Both
the combination of what you did, but just her, like you're saying, her eyes, just the style in which she does her modeling. There's energy coming just from that close-up shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you go between those two photographs, the emotion between the two is just so completely different.
Different, totally. Yeah, I caught that when you sent them to me. Yeah, just
I mean,
remarkable.
That's a really fierce kind of.
Yep.
Man, I know what I'm doing. I know my worth kind of photograph. And the next photograph seems to be a lot more romantic.
A little bit more vulnerable. Yeah. Yeah.
Bit more vulnerable, softer. The lips, her lips are slightly open.
Yep.
I hesitate
Great
to say
work.
this, but I think it's a lot more sensual. I think her expression in this is a lot more sensual.
Yeah. Well, even in her eyes, she's given a sense of vulnerability and romance to it. I gotta put this up. I'm gonna keep moving on. So, why is it that you don't like this guy?
No, I'm only joking. Well,
I know you are. I was trying to find a way to say it and not laugh, but it's still. So, what's up? What's up with this guy?
He's Australian.
Sorry. Hey, don't be alienating my viewers because I got a lot of viewers from Australia. Hey, I just want you to know, you guys send all mail to Neil Tandy. But cross out Neil and put Phil on it just to tick him up.
Right, there's always a natural rivalry between South Africans and Australians on the cricket field and on the rugby fields. No, actually, Marco's actually he's actually Italian. He was born in Italy and then moved to Australia when he was a child. Great
him. Let's clear this up. You like him though.
Yeah. Marco's a good buddy of mine.
Just for the record. For the record.
For the record. And Marco will probably say something about me being a horrible pommy as well, or whatever. Great. That's fine. But,
they don't mean it, everybody. They really love each other.
Yeah. Well, luckily Marco's back in Australia now, so I don't have to face it for another 6 months or so.
You got some really nice shots of him.
Artist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's an incredible artist. He etches, he paints, he draws, he does charcoal. He's very well respected in Australia. He lives on the west coast. He lives in Melbourne, I think. And he actually got hold of me through Instagram again, and asked me. He was having a small show in New York City in July, and asked me if I would go out and do some photographs of the show, which I did. And I said, listen, we've got to get together. Let me do some, portrait stuff with you, some environmental, put some, artist portraiture and whatnot. I said, okay, look, I'm going back to Australia in a few days, but I'm consolidating all my artwork at this building in the city, in New York City. And as it turns out, by the time he finished putting all of his work away and everything, the sun started going down. And I said, this is absolutely perfect. We've got to start doing these sunset shots. So this is facing, obviously, west in Manhattan from the 30-something floor of a building on 3rd Avenue, very close to Grand Central. And you'll see in a couple of the other shots, maybe one of Marco, there you can see the Empire State Building there. He was sketching very quickly there. I don't know if I sent you the shots where you can actually see the Empire State Building, but
I believe I do have that. I'm scrolling through right now what you sent me. Let's see.
If we'd have been looking the other way from there, we would have seen his favorite building, which is the Chrysler. He's got so many photographs, etchings and paintings and drawings of the Chrysler, which he loves.
He seems to be really talented with his etchings there.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, I mean, this is just a charcoal drawing. He was doing that whilst I was photographing. And his other favorite building is the Flatiron. Yeah, that's the Empire State Building right there. Although we don't see the, but you can see that he's got the spire and everything on there.
So go ahead, please. Go ahead.
And I just felt with a lot of these photographs, I mean, the sun was great, the sunset was great, but I also felt that they kind of screamed doing black and white on these as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, for me, black and white kind of just, it's such an emotional, excuse me, it's such an emotional way to present your photographs.
And
The
it's
right
very
subject.
interpretive. Everybody sees black and white differently also. Not everybody
Yeah.
sees it the same.
Yeah, and what I do, I don't just put a photograph into Photoshop and say convert to black and white.
Right, right.
You know, I do my black and white with purpose.
Hmm.
So I have
Wow.
I have a set of, I don't know how, and there we go. There's the Empire State Building. I have a set of quite a lot of kind of black and white presets that I use,
Hmm.
but they are infinitely adjustable. So I don't just use a preset and go, okay, that's it. I use a preset and then I mess around with tones and shading and clarity. There's Sammy again. I mean, you know, you can see the difference in the black and whites that I'm doing there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to, yeah. That's where I was going with that. There are variations even within the black and white. Have you now this is a touchy one. Have you kind of mastered that, or is it still something you just love recreating and kind of growing with as you continue to work with black and white?
Well, my name's not Ansel Adams, so no, I haven't mastered it.
You smart aleck. All right,
But-
Mr. Comedian.
Well, I had to bring in a West Coast boy for you guys, right? I
Hopefully,
mean,
one of you guys will pick that up. If not, I don't know. We'll call it an inside joke, and they'll get it maybe another day. But go ahead. You were saying, Smarty.
just remember Yosemite. No, I haven't mastered it, but I think that I've managed to develop a pretty good eye for what works and what doesn't work on each individual photograph. So this photograph and the one that you showed just now with the Empire State Building, they were taken on this. They were taken on the same day, probably within about 15 minutes of each other.
Okay.
In New York City, it was a July. I was due to fly out to Montana to go and photograph that rodeo that you showed earlier on,
Right.
and I had, this was about 6:30 at night. I just had something to eat at a diner on 8th Avenue, and the rain started coming down, and I ended up doing a whole series of photographs over about a 4-hour period in a square block between 35th and 32 blocks. Between 34th and 36th Streets, and between 8th Avenue and Broadway. And eventually I ended up putting them into a little book, which is called
Nice.
4 Hours.
Nice.
So this is on 36th Street. And that park sign, you may have actually seen the photograph where I've just got that sign, but in color, with the red neon and the glow against the building, and the
Yeah, I
blue
think
of
I
the
just-
sky.
I think I just saw that somewhere.
I don't know whether I sent it to you or...
I think I do have it. I'm going to put this up real quick for everybody. Anybody can look at that.
That's that's taken a few years ago. I'm not quite sure what year that was. Probably around about 2014 or 15 or something like that. The
And
flat iron.
Neil, Neil, did I show this one already? I don't remember.
No. So that was
Okay.
taken the same night as the Empire State Building one and the one with the
And this one?
and that one, yeah, the Moxie.
Right. I do have the park one as well. Yeah. This is a nice shot.
That was taken the same time. And you see what I'm doing is I'm using exactly the same technique there as I did with the rodeo
Right,
shots.
right. I noticed that. Yeah.
And so I slowed my panning down enough so that I could just freeze the guy a little bit.
Oh,
And again,
got
it's one of those shots where he is so small in the frame, but he dominates it.
Yeah, especially the way you shot it by slowing it down, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Does that make him stand out more? I think. If I'm
No,
honest.
I think the whole composition just it's all about contrast as well.
Okay.
Remember,
Yeah.
your eye will naturally go to the brightest part of a shot anyway, which in this case is probably the lights.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
for some reason, his shirt actually kind of stands out a little bit more because of the contrast with the black of the passing car, and the
Got
lamp
it.
post,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that he's almost stationary against all the movement. It's almost like the building's moving as well.
Everything's moving, but per se, but him.
Yeah, kind
Even
of.
though
But
there seems to be a little drag off of him, though, as if he's moving.
yeah, he was walking, so he was walking up
Mm-hmm.
to the crosswalk there, and we've got a couple of things going on there because I was just using the side across the street, so we've got the cars coming this way, and we've got him walking this way in the building. So there's a car going like that way, and he's coming this way.
Got it. That cross action does make it look. Actually, it's him and the little guy in the crosswalk are almost almost the same, as far as movement is concerned. There's even a drag off the little guy in the crosswalk meter sign.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Interesting
of the,
shot.
the motion blur with the building and everything as
Yeah.
well.
Hey, so just out to my viewers and supporters of our channels and coming here for the first time, please get a hold of Neil. You're going to be able to get all that information, of course, in the description of the video, but you'll be able to find him just about everywhere on our social media platforms. Feel free to contact him and connect with him. Some of these pictures, if people want to buy them, are you open to that still? If they want to put them in their doctor's office or dentist's office or therapist,
Oh,
if they
yeah,
want to
absolutely.
get a hold of, and everybody, you will have links and stuff I will do that. Everybody knows me now. I'll put it up live, but then I'll be coming back around within a week or so. You'll have everything you need, or just reach out to me. Everybody, just reach out to me. Everybody knows how to reach out to us at Rhythm Entertainment Media Group. And myself or my daughters will get back to you and give you Neil's information. If you want to buy some of his artwork or anything like that. Neil, anything else you're about to say? I'm going to pull up some more, but I'm going to search for it. Go ahead and keep talking. While I'm going to look for some stuff you sent me.
I've got nothing to say.
Oh, okay. Don't be funny. Do not be funny. Okay, look. Hey, you got nothing to say? Say something about this.
That's Sammy again. There's Sammy.
Is it really?
This,
Her hair's different, or is it?
oh yeah, she changes her hair every week.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a totally different person. I didn't know.
No, that's Sammy again, and that was taken. When was that? That was September 2023. She
Okay.
got a hold of me. She was coming through to New York, and she'd been given access to a rooftop by a studio down in
Really? Cool.
downtown New York City. It's like 14th Street or something, 17th Street, I think, kind of mid. And I went up on the rooftop, and I went, "You got to be kidding me! This is just perfect." There's water towers and all the
Wow.
all the scaffolding that holds the water towers up and everything. What more iconic photograph can you take than a photographs of water towers in New York City? And
True. That's a good point. Yeah.
so it turned out that on that roof as well, there was a platform that had little electrical boxes that were running all the HVAC equipment and so on and so forth. And I just shot this in a gap between a couple of those electrical boxes. So allowing those electrical boxes to become out of focus against the sides of my lens.
Yep.
And it was starting to get dark. I think we used one light on this with a beauty dish. I know that, see, that was the same night. This is looking down towards the Freedom Tower. This is looking downtown.
You even got a water tower across the way, or is it the same roof in the shot?
No, it's a building
across the way.
across the way.
Nice shot.
And we did some night shots as well. I think with the Freedom Tower and everything in the background. We did some stuff further around on the roof. It was an incredible rooftop. The studio is a studio called Alchemical Studios. Unfortunately, their lease ran out, so they had to move away from there. They did. It was a great rehearsal space for them, dancing studios and theatre studios. I think they've been looking for a new building in the last few months,
Wow.
and hopefully they'll find another new building and do more of this. 'Cause
Okay,
I love doing
so
stuff on rooftops.
you do really well. The ones that I have here are fantastic. You get the right angles on it where I can see that I'm looking at a model or something off of a rooftop, but you keep us focused on the subject.
Yeah,
I want to
and-
delve into the photography part another time we get together. I didn't want to necessarily do too much of it today. You're doing fine, what I'm saying, but there's so much more I want to ask you about these different shots. But today, everybody, I wanted you to get to meet Neil. Of course, unless you're from Australia and you hate him, his name is Phil. But what I was gonna say is just be nice to my buddy here because he's a great guy.
or bloody pommy, and for just to explain to the American audience who wouldn't understand that, a pommy is a
Oh, believe me,
derogatory term.
they're gonna
for
figure it
English
out.
It's a derogatory term for English people normally by Australians and South Africans. It's originally from. So remember the history of Australia. So.
Oh, look at you! Remember, look at you starting trouble. Oh my goodness! Okay, I just lost a third of my audience right now. They're all gonna hate me. I love you guys. Phil and I are Phil.
Yes.
He's Phil when he talks that way, but fall in love with Neil. You can hate Phil. It's his alter ego.
Sydney just shut you down.
I know this is gonna say. Oh my! I can't even watch any more TV programs from there. They won't even allow me anymore. Just no more Acorn TV and BritBox for me and anything else. I'm done now. Okay.
Well,
Hey, I gotta ask. Go ahead. You're gonna say before I put this up.
In all seriousness, it's all banter between Australians and Brits and South Africans, and
right.
so we love it. We've all got a good sense of humor.
Depends on which team loses though.
Right, that's right. But we have to have a good sense of humor.
Well, yeah, it's true. So what's going on here? You do weddings then? Is that what this is?
It's not a real wedding. No, this.
I like the way you gathered everything. It's pretend. It's just pretend, Paxton.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, and I know you had all these questions. And
I did. I looked at it and went like, that is so beautiful.
Right. Well, actually,
it's fake.
Right. So what this was, B&H, which is a huge, great big audiovisual camera
First
store.
place I bought a camera from.
Yeah, in New York City.
Yes,
so
I love that place.
Every year they have an event called Depth of Field in New York City.
Oh, didn't I? Okay, cool.
B&H Depth of Field. So this was held at the New Yorker Hotel, and so they have all over the place in different displays with different companies and so on and so forth. And I can't remember this model's name at the moment, but they just let anybody go in with a camera and take photographs to your heart's content.
Cool.
Which is what I did. But I tried to kind of change my angles up a little bit from everybody else that was there as well. Because I don't like doing everything. I don't follow trends. I try to set the trends. I prefer not to.
He doesn't cooperate. He doesn't play well with others. He doesn't play well with others.
No. Well, the thing is, here's the thing. I know the rules, and then I break them. Rules are there to be broken, bud. And I mean,
I knew you were gonna say it, dude.
Listen,
He just can't help it. He can't help it. Everybody. He's a good person to hire, though. You should hire him though, because you will get a different look.
Well, I keep getting told that I think out the box, and one of my friends down in Palm Beach tells everybody that he thinks out the box. Don't. Just listen to him. Just listen to him. He thinks out the box and everything. Yeah. So I mean, a photography purist, I guess, was to look at this photograph. They'd say to me, "Well, no, the subject's too far over to the left.
Far over to the left. Yep.
And
that's true.
And I'm like, I don't.
You
care.
don't care. You don't care. I said it for you, buddy.
I don't care. It looks great to me, right? And all that negative space on the right, all that green negative space, draws the viewer's eye straight into her. And again, what did I say earlier on? The brightest part of the photograph is where the eye first goes. Bang, straight to her.
That's true.
it doesn't matter where she's placed it. The only thing I will never do, unless no, that's wrong. I usually don't put the subject bang in the middle of the frame.
I noticed that.
But
I'll
I
give.
will do it-
For example, here we go.
Yeah,
I love this shot.
that was done in an apartment in New York City, in Hell's Kitchen.
Wow. Okay.
And I've done a little bit of processing, post processing on this with the black and white, and put a bit of a vignette on there. But I also the way I softened this down. It's an old apartment. It's like about 100 years old. This apartment, and it got these huge, great big white wooden door frames. And a technique that I like to do is take my lens hood off, open my aperture up as wide as I can, and then place my camera up against that door frame, for example, and then focus through it. So it's like when you bring your fingers up to your eyes and you look at something in the distance, then your fingers become see-through and blurry. And so that's what I do with the camera and door frames, and that's what I did there with this lady. And so what we did there, we did kind of, I used my 85mm lens on both these photographs actually.
Okay.
And so I had a strobe off to the side with a modeling light on, and I slowed my shutter speed down and then moved my camera. So the flash kind of freezes her, but everything else then
moves.
It's kind of everything moves and blurs.
Wow.
It's a fairly standard technique that a lot of people use. And then I just did a little bit of color grading to add that yellowness, or a lot of the time what I would, and the same with that as well. So you can see she's completely frozen by the flash in this one.
Got it. Yeah.
And so everything else it's all one shot. This is all one shot. With the lamp and the window and everything blurring in front of her and behind her. And she was just frozen by the flash.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's just a combination of the modeling light and the lamp that she's got there, the desk lamp.
How long of a shoot did this take? Doing this particular model? Over an hour?
Oh yeah, most of my shoots are about 3 or 4 hours.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Unless if I'm shooting with Sammy in a studio, it can easily go 6 or 7 hours.
Wow, cool. Wow. Yeah, you gotta have some good working chemistry to make that happen.
Oh yeah, I mean, this lady, I'd actually met her at an art show. I was introduced to her at an art show a couple of weeks beforehand. Excuse me, and we kind of struck up a rapport at the art show, and she's a bit of a hippie as well. She's got a place down in Tulum. She likes the hippie lifestyle as well. And
what would you describe as a hippie? See, now you asked me. Now I'm just going to go off grid here. Let's off script, you could say, but off grid. Going to go to a whole nother direction here. What's a hippie? No, it has nothing to do with her. I'm just curious. I just want to pick your brain.
Well, I
like your brain. So go ahead.
What with toast?
Whipped cream and some strawberries. Brains. I'd rather have. Yeah, I'd rather. Go ahead.
That just reminds me of that emoji when. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if she's self-described as a hippie, and I'm not sure what her definition of that is. I mean, I tend to think more in terms of her being a little bit more bohemian.
Okay, all right.
Which I mean, they kind of don't necessarily, almost like me to a degree, don't necessarily follow societal norms. I mean, everybody's kind of stereotypical hippie is somebody with, flipping flowers and peace signs and
from Woodstock. Somebody from Woodstock, right?
From Woodstock,
right.
yeah.
It's kind of, right.
the summer of love and all that lot,
Right.
which I wasn't exposed to because I was leading a very sheltered life in the UK at the time, and I was only, well, in fact, I wasn't even born. If we go back to our previous conversation about my age.
Yes, I was going to say, I don't even think you were, as my father would say, you weren't even a dirty thought at that point. But go ahead.
No.
So,
But I think, you know, I mean, I think it's just somebody that, for me, doesn't necessarily want to live by societal constructs in terms of having to have all the possessions and live with TVs and computers and all that stuff, you know.
yeah.
A bit new age, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite off the grid, but like,
Yeah, I know. You're right. Living,
Still
living in a camper, off grid kind of thing. No, but so do you consider your photography? I mean, you're a professional photographer.
Yes.
If anybody's watching this and come back to watch this, you have not seen anything. I have not really shown you who the crux of who this man is and the work that he's done. I will, as long as I'm allowed to. We've talked about it, you and I, showcasing you in to our audience. But you've done a lot of professional work. You've been a lot of different places. You've been to different countries. You've done a number of different things. Your quest of making pictures is not done. But if you had to say, do you consider your style of work to be outside of societal norms or photography norms?
some of it, yeah. Not all of it, because sometimes I have to abide by the constraints that are put on me to a degree by clients.
Got it.
You know, I mean, if I'm going to be doing a headshot for a real estate guy to go on his business card, he doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily
it's
want
a
something
little.
like that.
Yeah,
You know,
you're not gonna. I can
what he
see that
wants
would
is-
that would create a problem. Yeah,
yeah, and
for future
you know,
business.
He kind of wants, you know, white background or grey background,
Plain look.
perf-
Plain look. Yeah.
plain, perfectly lit, but showing. And I always say to those guys, I mean, you know, those photographs for me, they have to convey professionalism, trustworthiness, and friendliness. And if we can do that in those three, if we can get those three things across in that photograph, then
Out of
then
that
he's got
headshot,
yeah,
he's
then-
got a
then
good
that-
shot.
Yeah, then he's got a good chat. He's got a good shot with his potential clients. So yes, some of my work is a little bit outside of the box. I think a little bit more bohemian. I mean, my lighting style, I don't follow standard lighting styles in the studio. I've never.
How
seen
would you
people
describe
light-
your lighting styles then? How would you describe what you do? If somebody wanted to understand and they like the look and they're learning photography or they've been a novice photographer, if they wanted to get a better idea of your style when it comes to lighting and other things, describe it for them.
Trade secret.
You're gonna do that. I tried, dude. Hey, what I tell you? What I tell you before the show? Now I'm gonna tell everybody why I just did what I did. I got 21 questions for this guy that were sent in to us, and I just used one of them right now. And when I saw it, I went like, I wouldn't answer. Wait, I wouldn't answer that question about the stuff I do. That's a trade secret. I tell people just enough
Well-
to get them started, but I ain't gonna tell them how I do what I do. So
I
I
know.
get what
If-
you're
if-
saying. Go ahead. You're gonna say.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait,
if I had
look.
to
Now I'm going to
describe-
look over here for another question. That's good. No, go I'll
ahead.
Pick another
Go
one.
ahead.
No, go
I've-
ahead.
I've-
No, go ahead.
Same answer to every question. But if I had to, if I had
then
to
let me
describe my lighting style
Okay.
in the
Go ahead.
in the studio, I would say unique. Would be. The thing is, light is a tool. It's the same as anything. The camera's a tool. Everything's a tool. Once you can see light, once you know where you want that light to be falling, develop your own style. And I try to do that. I try to develop. I mean, I know the standard lighting patterns. I know what Rembrandt lighting is. I know what cross lighting is. I know what loop lighting is. I know what butterfly lighting is. And sometimes I use beauty lighting if I need to do a beauty shot or whatever. And I've used most of them at some stage. Rembrandt, I've used now and again. But I just, from that, developed my own kind of lighting setup in the studio. And on location, it's always a bit different because I don't have the control that I've got in the studio.
Yeah,
There's a lot more factors. I can, I shoot in a dark studio. The only lighting that I have available to me when I'm focusing is the modeling lights on my strobe, so that I can focus. But I try to kill all of my ambient light, so that everything becomes all about my own personal lighting. There's Park.
This is the picture that you had earlier. A bigger shot of it was in black and white, but this is a nice shot.
Yeah, this was. I mean, I was standing almost right underneath the sign there, and
So-
I love to do these kind of Hopper-esque type photographs as well now and again, kind of noir Hopper-esque.
Yes, gotcha.
To me, it
I love them too. I love them too. Yeah,
Yeah, when I see the neon shining off the building like that, I mean, I've got to capture that.
it works. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
so I have to tell you, this picture I love a lot. It reminds me of certain studios in Hollywood and different places, old school studios, recording studios. These are the kind of pictures they have up, similar to this. But this is such a great shot. So if anybody has a recording studio, you guys need to be getting in contact with Neil, because he can make your studio look a whole lot better. Just buy some of his art and put it up. It's one of a kind.
That could be an album cover straight there, you know.
Technically, yes, it sure could be. I love it. Like you said, the reflection of light.
Songwriters. Did I send you the one of the Avernia Hotel in West Palm Beach, the one with the green neon?
Oh, I want to say it sounds familiar, but it's on your Instagram, isn't it?
It's on Instagram.
Yes. No, you did. I got it. No, I just saw it right now. I thought I did. Here it is. That's sweet. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's the one, right? I love that.
Yeah, that's
thing.
the one.
That is so cool. That is definitely an album cover right there. That's nice.
If somebody can come up with the Hotel Avernia instead of Hotel California, we've got it made. I'm telling you.
Yeah, right? If somebody, it may not sell as many as the Eagles, but if they could,
the Eagles, but yeah.
Well, if the group was called Avernia, if the group was called Avernia, that would be cool.
Anybody that knows West Palm Beach will know this hotel. Actually, it's been there for 100 years, and in one form or another as a hotel.
Okay.
And the way development's going on in West Palm Beach, it may not be around very much longer. But I actually stayed there my first ever time I went to Palm Beach. And I went out at night and I saw this, with the windows and the green and I just like it's so kind. I had to, yeah. It's kind of, it's just such an Edward Hopper kind of feel to it, bit noir. You just don't know what's lurking around the corner, or and I love doing photographs, and I love shooting in the fog at night as well, because I think it just gives you
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get any fog shots, but that's got to be some really great looking stuff that you got, because this just reminds me of 1930s, 40s, kind of maybe 50s.
Yeah.
Got that feel to it.
I don't know if this photograph behind me. That was taken in Nashville, in the middle of a rainstorm.
Wow.
And I was underneath the canopy of Joe's Crab Shack.
but you got the feel of the rain. Does it really look like it's from Tennessee though? Does it look like it's a shot from Tennessee, or does it look like it could be anywhere?
No. Anyway, it just looks like a full-on noir movie shot.
I love those shots.
You can't see it. There's actually there's a guy coming out of the parking lot there, and there's some motion blur in his wheels.
Nice.
Because I did a long exposure so that I could catch the rain, and you can see like almost all the rain just bouncing off his roof, and you can see the rain.
I'm fascinated by all that stuff. I love it. I'm fascinated by all that.
That's probably that's probably on my Instagram as well. So.
Yeah, I have to take a look at that too. But look,
what you haven't? You haven't looked at my Instagram yet,
dude. I study. Don't even go there. I put on a rubber glove, and I have checked you out thoroughly. You're okay.
Oh, you're the one, right? Okay.
That was me. You walking funny. That was me. So what I was gonna say, you've got some. You just for the audience. I've been enjoying the pictures you have of the animals that you've been taking pictures of, and of nature and other stuff. I know we've been looking at buildings, everybody, and other stuff that you've been looking at about Neil. But Neil's got some great shots. I mean, I'm putting this up right now. Tell me more about your outdoor shots of nature.
First of all, just full disclosure on this. This was actually shot in a sanctuary. It's not in the wild, unfortunately. It doesn't
have to be in the wild. It just for us here in California. For us here in California, if it's a sanctuary, that's wild to us. But go ahead. You were going to say.
This was taken in West Yellowstone.
Okay.
There's just outside the west entrance to Yellowstone Park, National Park. There's a place called the Grizzly and the West Yellowstone Grizzly and Wolf Discovery Center.
Okay.
And in that Discovery Center, they've got 2 separate packs of wolves. What they do is they rescue animals from the wild that can't look after themselves, they're injured or whatever, and they don't rehabilitate them, but they try to keep them in surroundings that are as natural as possible. So they've got 2 wolf packs there, one pack of grey wolves and one pack of black wolves. And they try to feed them in such a way that would imitate nature. So this was just after eating time. They don't force them to eat. What they do is they just give them a big bunch of food like wolves do, because a wolf will eat 50 pounds and then not eat for another month.
Really?
So
cool.
Yeah, so they try and do that with these guys as well. And they don't force them to eat. This was taken through glass, which is like 3 or 4 inches thick.
It looks really good. Great. It looks really good, though.
I was lucky that we happened to be there just around the time they were feeding the 1 pack. So they started getting, and this guy looks like he's looking at me and going.
I was going to say, I think he's looking at maybe he's going to get 50 pounds from you. He's going to be happy.
Yeah.
He looks like he's ready to chomp. Hey, sometimes you got to sacrifice. You got to sacrifice. Got to give up the 50 pounds.
Pound of flesh there to him.
So he'd be taking more than a pound from you. Hey, so what is this right here? Is this from the same area? Same. He looked pretty big.
Well, that's in Yellowstone.
Okay.
And I've been to Yellowstone twice. The first time was in the winter, and I know I sent you some winter shots. But this guy,
yes.
I went there in August, the same time as I went to Montana the first time to the rodeo, and the first day I went into the park, I'm like, where are all the bison? Because I followed like a trail that I'd done in the winter, and I didn't see any of the bison. And I get back to where I was staying, and I look and I Google it, and they're all in Hayden Valley because it's the mating season. So I went back to Hayden Valley, and that guy weighed about 2,000 pounds. He was walking down the road. I was sat in the car. I took that photograph from the window, outside the window of the car. There was no way I was getting out of the car with that dude.
I would not either.
It was, lone male looking for a female, hormones running around like crazy. No,
I was gonna say all of those are good reasons to not get out of the car.
Yeah.
You have the wrong scent.
Pounds and horns.
Yeah.
And this is a younger bull, I think. Yeah, this is a younger bull. That I watched it. It came down a hill. It was across the Yellowstone River. This is in Hayden Valley in Yellowstone. Crossed the Yellowstone River, and then walked across the road where we're in front of us, and then back up the other side. But there was a big male on the opposite side, and I think he thought twice about challenging this guy.
Yeah.
These guys don't mess around. Mating season, they don't mess around.
Wow.
They don't mess around.
There doesn't look like there's too much outrunning that guy if he really wants to go after you.
No. These guys can run at 35, 40 miles an hour or something like that.
That's crazy.
You get all these people in they go to Yellowstone and think they can go and take selfies with these guys.
What?
It's amazing. Yeah, you're supposed to be a minimum of 30 yards or 25 yards away from them. I carry.
I double that.
I use a big lens.
I was gonna say, well, okay, so you had to be what? How far? How far away? How far away do you think you on this shot?
On this one, about 75 to 100 yards.
Yeah, that's what I would be doing. I would be doing the same.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So what's happening here? This is a typical kind of mating thing.
Okay.
So what happens is that's the one, the pair there. That's the dominant male with his mate, his girlfriend.
Okay.
And then this guy in the foreground kicking dust is a challenger. So all the bison pair off, and then you get the lone males come around and challenge them. So what they normally do, it's like really fascinating to watch. It's like a whole ritual. They'll roll over. You got 1,800 pounds of beef rolling over in the mud. Okay, with their paws in the air, and they're rolling.
Oh, man.
And then they get up, and then they paw the ground to kick up the dust and everything. And then if the challenge is accepted, then they charge each other, hit each other head on. But they've got, from what I understand, they've got like built-in shock absorbers in their skulls, so they don't actually hurt each other.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, they hurt each other. Believe me.
They hurt me.
A combined force of like 3,500, 2,000 pounds of force going at each other like that. It's and the females just like, yeah, all right, whoever wins, I'll take you. It's kind of it's really kind of strange. I mean, with this photograph, this is actually cropped from a bigger photograph.
Oh, okay.
Luckily, I've got a 45 megapixel camera, so I can crop in half and still have a 20 odd megapixel photograph.
Wow.
And if you zoom in on this one, when you go back to have a look at this one later, the one I sent you. If you zoom in on this guy, you'll see all the rocks and the stones and all the mud and the dust.
They're kicking up,
flying out from. You'll see the shape of his hooves and everything when you zoom in on it.
Nice shot. Totally nice shot. Yeah. What's going on here?
Right, this was. It's a strange little creature, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
and some of the other pictures you sent me of this creature is I was going like, what in the world is this? And I couldn't wait to get you. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah. So this was in Mexico, in Cancun. Well, in Vedanta Riviera Maya. Last year I went on a trip to Vedanta Riviera Maya, which is a gorgeous resort. And we actually saw these guys running around, and they're just not scared of anybody. And then I had to do a bit of research, and it's called a long-tailed coati.
A long-tailed coati?
Yes, coati.
Okay, all right.
So if you can see, it's actually a relative of the raccoon.
Oh, okay, cool.
And they're like hanging out there wild. I mean, they don't bother about human beings, and they're fairly social. So,
it didn't run away from you?
No, I was on the top of a bridge, and I was using a lens to zoom in on him. And I think if the next photo coming up, which I think it probably will be, of the three of them.
There's three of them there, but I think you sent me three of these.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me gather the.
Yeah, it's true. They're just like having they're just.
They're sitting there having a ball. Like it looks like it.
These guys.
Let me grab the other one here.
I mean, if you look at those teeth, it's like raccoons. They've got,
I saw that. Yeah. I don't think I'd mess with them.
Yeah, I didn't fancy getting any love bites or whatever from these guys, wasn't I?
Okay, you sent me three. I think I have one more, but I don't know if it's the same animal though. Hold on one second. Let's see here.
The other one is.
That's a different one. I have only two of those.
Which is also in Mexico as well, if I see it. Yeah, I didn't want to send you too much. I didn't want you, getting too.
I told you about that though. You couldn't send me to. I got enough room over here. I could have a Library of Congress in here.
Yeah, but I'm concerned about your heart. Paxton, because I don't want you getting too excited.
Okay. I'm not okay.
So
Go ahead. You were gonna say.
so this is a
I'll pass on that one. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna say
this is
something. But go ahead.
go right ahead. Tell me.
No,
Go
no,
on,
no,
insult me.
no,
Do it.
no. It's okay. Just call me Marty. Just call me
But-
Marty. Marty's not gonna say anything. Paxton's gonna just keep going with the show. Marty's gonna be quiet. Go ahead. You were gonna say.
All right, Dave.
Okay. Yeah. There we go. There we go.
So this little dude, this is also in Vedanta Riviera Maya, and this is a rodent. It's called an agouti.
Anaguti.
Agouti.
Crazy.
And they're fairly common out in Central America. And I first saw them, I think, when I was in Belize a couple of years ago. And it started raining, so you can see from the leaves that there's raindrops falling on the leaves. So he's just like hiding, eating his nuts or whatever he made with.
Whatever you. Hey, he's trying to tell everybody, leave me alone. I'm over here eating.
Yeah. Well, leave me alone, literally.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just like sheltering a bit from the rain. And he's not big. He's only about this big. I'm not a fisherman, so I would have said that big, but it's actually about.
Hey, you're not going to exaggerate, right?
No, you should have stopped talking about. You should have seen the size of the trout that I caught when I was in Montana a couple of years ago. It was
Literally, huh?
about that big.
You messing with me. I thought you caught a real big one. You only got a little
no.
one? You got a small one?
No, well, I
they're big out there. Right here.
Yeah. I was getting fly fishing lessons with the guy that's been doing fly fishing and giving lessons for 30 years, and I caught 3. And I looked at him.
How big?
I said, probably about this big,
Yeah.
And I said to him afterwards, I said, "How do I do, Bob?" He said, "I swim better." Okay,
Ouch.
fine, all right.
Ouch.
Yeah, I thought,
Man, hurt my ego. Why don't you? It's kind of. This is a cool shot. I love this shot. It's nice. Wintertime shot. What do you like about what you do? Can you still hear me? You got me?
yeah.
What do you?
By the way,
what do you like? Yes, go ahead.
I just want to dispel one or two people that might think that this is a wolf. It's not a wolf, but it's such a coyote.
Nice.
Coyote. And
Where was this?
Yellowstone. That was on my very first trip to Yellowstone.
Got it.
The story behind this guy, very quickly, is that he'd been. We were on a trail with a guide, and she stopped the bus because she saw this guy about 150 yards away, and he was munching down on a bison carcass for lunch, and some bigger came in and chased him away. When we saw the ravens, and he kind of came up all the way back up across the meadow in snow like this deep, up to the trail where we were, and he started rolling around, cleaning himself off in the snow, and then he got up to leave, and he looked directly at me.
Wow.
I'm about 30 yards away from him here, and then he just trotted off past us, down past our little snow coach, down further on down the trail, and we just let him go. But he's very well conditioned for a coyote.
Wow, that's crazy. That's
it's
amazing.
not like the ones you see in West Hollywood.
No.
Scavenging in the trash cans.
They look like out of work actors. Actually, they don't even look like animals. They look like they fired their agent. Is what they look like. Yeah, I've seen
if they had
what?
one.
If they that's right. That's
If
right.
they
If
had
they
an
had
agent.
that's right. They had too much casting couch. What I was gonna say is,
I'm not going.
I don't do it. So what I was gonna say is, I'm gonna put up a picture. Good, you're choked up. So let me put this picture up here. What's going on here? Because I've seen the current pictures that you got, and I know you got even more shots than these on your Instagram. What privilege, honor, all the above that you got? That's a great shot.
This was a couple of weeks ago at the Hampton Classic, the big show jumping
Nice.
competition in in the Hamptons, out here on Long Island where I live.
Mhm.
And I've only been, last year I went and this year I went as a guest, a couple of friends of mine and one of the local newspapers or media publishing groups, media groups. I was got entrance into VIP, which
Nice.
which is great because I can get nice and close to the action in the VIP
Right,
area.
right.
So I did, of course, do the normal blurry photographs as well, but I wanted to get a few standard shots, if you like, for social media and for publishing. So this is last year I went on VIP on the Grand Prix day, which is the last day. This was unfortunate we couldn't go the Grand Prix day this year. This was the Thursday, but there was still some great riding. I don't know anything about show jumping, but let me just take a few photographs.
Neither do I. But when I saw the picture, I went like, "That's really good." Wait, this. So you're saying then this was the first time you did some show jumping shots?
No, it's the second time.
I'm sorry. Second time.
Yeah. I went last year as well. Last year I did more of the kind of blurry, motion blur ones. Yeah, this is the same day. I think the one I've maybe posted on. I know the one I posted on Instagram of this. I actually cropped it in a lot tighter. But this one I kind of like because it gives a bit of.
This is nice. Gives it a bit of what?
It gives a little, a bit more perspective, I think, with the wider shot. Although the one that I posted on Instagram, which was closer, it's like almost in the guy's face.
Wow.
So it was, but again, I mean, I'm using a long lens and then cropping in.
Yeah. Now, go ahead, please. You're gonna say.
Luckily, my camera lets me do that because, like I said earlier on, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. So, any help I can get.
Yeah, right. Whatever, Mr. Genius. Okay, so tell me about this. We're going to be wrapping up the show, everybody, right now. As many of you know, we do everything here live and record it live. I will then take it back and do some post-production to it and slim it down and take out all of the Phil stuff and anything related to David and Phil and Marty and everybody else, and it'll just be Neil and I. It'll just be Neil and Paxton. But we forgot Ricky. We forgot about Ricky. You know what? You know what we should do? I gotta get you on our radio show. I'm gonna get you on a radio show where we're just you and I, and we're gonna record some stuff. And we're gonna. No, I'm not gonna say anymore. I'll talk to you more.
Only if I can swear like Joe Rogan.
I know if you're gonna. You know what? We should get you on. I'm gonna campaign to get you on Joe Rogan. All right. So here we go. Last picks of the day, everybody. What do we got here? And then when we're done here, everybody, if you want to hang around, I am going to play a video at the end. It's about almost 4 minutes long. You can sit and enjoy it. That I made for Neil. And Neil, go ahead. You're going to talk about this. I'm going to put up some other pictures you got.
This young lady is a lady by the name of Jacqueline. Again, another lady that came. She lives in, believe it's either Austin or Dallas. She's in Texas, maybe Fort Worth. I'm not sure. I can't remember 100%. But she's connected to a couple of people that I know via Instagram, and she was coming up to New York, and they recommended that she come and shoot with me. So we did a whole bunch of stuff. We didn't do anything in the studio, actually. We did everything outside, outside the back of my studio. This was done on the street across the road from where my studio is a church.
Okay.
And this was actually shot outside that church.
There's a reason why we both laughed. The reason we both laughed. I'm going to see if I pull up a picture. It won't get me kicked off of YouTube. But go ahead. You were saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, the jacket actually is one of my jackets. Believe it or not.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wore it. I actually bought it about 6 years ago when I was doing the photography for a pageant down in Miami, and I wanted to look like I was the hip photographers.
You could, did you really? No, come on. Are you serious? You bought that jacket?
I bought it. I bought it for that. I actually did buy it for that event because I knew that on the final evening,
Look like a hippie.
everybody would be dressed. No, like a hippie. Everybody would be dressed up, and some of the gentlemen are a little bit more flamboyant than usual down there. Yeah, so
You
I
were
thought
you
I
were
better
getting
try and
there.
fit
You
in.
were getting there. You were trying to. Yeah, you were trying. You're looking. You look like you were at Woodstock trying to fit in. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Oh well, it's going back to my
No,
African
no.
roots. I'm telling you about.
Oh, is that what it was? In South Africa party, you start coming out. You start,
Yeah, that's right.
that's
Back
the
in
way
the
it
wild.
works.
But Jacqueline is a great,
Nice
great model.
shots.
Yeah,
Good shots.
that's
Yeah.
on the steps. And that's another thing I like
Personality.
to do. I
You
mean,
can see personality. Yeah.
oh yes, yeah. She wanted
Yeah.
to do these photographs with the boots and everything, and I wanted to. I love shooting into the sun. I love photographing.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
photograph into the sun. Blah blah. Okay, so
Yeah.
who cares? I'm doing it, and because I love to get the lens flare, so you can see
Yeah.
all the little
Yeah.
bits of.
Yeah.
And if you get it just right, you can.
Yeah, I've
see
noticed it
the
in some of
camera.
your other shots that you sent me on your Instagram. Yeah, you capture it pretty
Yeah.
well, and it's almost like you put it in a certain spot, or he happens to capture it in a certain spot, and it works right.
Yeah, I mean, I was moving around to make sure that I could see what was happening, and I
Yeah,
checked the
right.
lens hood off, so because a lot of people don't know what a lens hood is. Lens hood is for. A lens hood is actually to stop this kind of thing happening, but I want it to happen, so I take the
You
lens
want it
hood
to happen.
off. Yeah, and then I mean, I don't point directly into the sun, but you'll see that the sun is actually behind the building and behind her.
Yeah.
And behind the trees and everything. So, and it was fairly low. It was later in the afternoon. And I'm shooting from a low perspective as well.
Yes. Right.
And I just moved around until I saw that lens, how I wanted it in my shot. So it's not an accident. It's not accidental. It is, in this case,
No,
deliberate.
it's very deliberate and very well thought out the way you put it together. I love this shot. Just the three different shots show her personality, but there's so much of you as a photographer that comes in here with the way the lighting and where the lighting is. Great shot.
Yeah,
Good shot.
yeah. I mean, this is obviously I'm using artificial lighting here.
Mhm,
I think, and you can see there's some sunlight coming in, and just catching onto her legs, and you can
Yep,
see how low
yep.
the sun is there.
Very low.
And you
right?
can see just from that door. That's a church door, and
Okay.
so if you can see behind her, there's just a little bit of a highlight on that door. So that's just from my light, and I've kept the light fairly small, and then just metered and just done an exposure so it darkens the background up a little bit, and used it
Right,
on a
right.
fairly low power, just to get that feeling. And her
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's just awesome. I mean, she's
I'm-
just a great model.
Yeah,
She-
I can totally see that. She can totally capture you in one spot. But I like what you've done with the lighting. It's almost like she's packaged in lighting from the door down to the boots and part of her leg, and just a hint of light on the step. But everywhere else is relatively dark, or at least it has that brick color to it.
Yeah.
It's a really great shot. Complimentary to her, but at the same time, you
there's,
capture her personality.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah, and this is a technique used by, or used to be used by a lot of the impressionist painters and so on and so forth. It's called chiaroscuro lighting. So they use a dark background to highlight the subject. If you look at some of the old paintings, not so much impressionist painting, but if you look at a lot of the old masters, you'll see the subject is light and the background is dark. And
Yes.
it's called chiaroscuro. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
not something I consciously think, oh, I'm going to use chiaroscuro lighting or anything like that. I just love to. I don't think about those kind of things.
So it's more mood based, would you
It's
say?
got to be instinctive.
Okay, instinctive.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is the last picture that I'm gonna put up for us today before we go. But for me, I love your style. I love the mindset. Whatever you come up with, outside the box, off the grid, whichever way you want to describe it, hippy dippy, whichever way you want to go with it. This is such a great shot.
Yeah.
It's a great advertising shot. I mean, I could totally use this 50 billion ways just by putting text next to the building, next to her on the building. There's so much there that even can be used in a as an album cover or something like that. That's just me talking out loud. Go ahead. You were going to say.
And yeah, this, believe it or not, is this is just outside the studio as well. It's actually an insurance building. It used to be a bank building, and I just love the white walls and the way the sun comes. It faces south, so if I'm there in the afternoon, I get that light coming around sort of mid-afternoon from the south, and I get it comes in fairly high at the right time of the year. So I managed to get all these shadows, but I also use a strobe. I normally use a flash.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
Off to the one side. Yeah, so I combine the two. I nearly always shoot with flash outside as well.
But that's on her, or is it on the building? Is it more focused on the building, or the flash is more focused on her, right?
It's focused on Jacqueline, yeah.
Yeah.
More on her face.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
And then,
yeah. Okay.
I mean, you'll see that the shadows are coming from different sides. If you look down,
Yeah, I did notice that.
so you'll see the shadows coming from that side, and then the shadows coming from this side.
Yep.
So that's a combination of the sun and a harder. I'm kind of emulating sun with my flash on the one side, on the other side.
Yeah.
So
You're a scientist, man. You're not a
line.
photographer. You're a scientist. You're a
Well,
photographic scientist.
Yeah, I've been called a couple of things like camera chameleon, or I don't know, but
Yeah, there you go. Because that was one of the things that stood out to me was the lighting on her face, or we could say complexion, but the coloration on her face and the building are relatively very close, similar, and it's very captivating.
Yeah, I mean, you can see actually that, like on the right side of her face, the left as you're looking at her arm, that is the natural sun. That's natural sunlight coming in. But I'm just filling in those shadows on the other side.
I see that on the other side. Yeah,
some flash.
yeah,
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Hey, my friend, I have actually. I think I told you we're only going to go for about 35 minutes or 40 minutes, and we're gonna maybe an hour. It's an hour and 40 minutes we've been hanging out. 41 minutes.
No complaint.
I just want you to know that I appreciate you doing this. Go ahead. You're going to say.
Well, it's time for Starbucks. Let's wrap it up.
It's good. Hey, man. Hey, look, I am glad that I actually got you and that you said yes, and you'll be able to fit me in your schedule, because I know you've been busy with a number of different things, and I am honored. And I had already decided that I wasn't going to do another live show on here unless I had you come on first. So I wanted to talk with you first. Photography has always been a big part of my life. I haven't done it in eons, but I wanted to be able. I love your work. Followed you for a while. Looking at your stuff.
I think it's easy enough to get me a ticket out to LA, and
hey, oh man, you come out here, we gonna have some fun. we gonna have some.
Let me check my schedule.
Schedule. You gotta fit me. No, you gotta fit me in. You gotta fit me in. I know you got stuff going on, and you got friends. You got Parachute going to, and you're gonna be turning 39 and enjoying yourself, and a bunch of other things in Paris, by the way. And a photo shoot you're doing out there, and other things. What I want to, before we close, just to make some of you who have sent me different questions to ask him. Here we go. This is round robin. I'm just gonna toss them out to you, and you just say whatever you think, and then we're gonna go. Okay, what? This is so simple. Was there a defining moment when you knew photography was your true calling? I had to do that one. I just had to do that one. It's so corny.
I don't think there was a defining moment, because I picked up my first camera when I was like 12 years old.
Okay.
But I think when I started taking it really, really seriously. Okay, so I'm going to backtrack to the beginning of the century. Sounds so long ago, right? But to 2000, 2001. And I'd had all my camera gear stolen in South Africa, and I
Mm.
hadn't picked up a camera for like 10 odd years. And I went to a motorcycle Grand Prix in South Africa,
Hmm.
and I didn't have a camera, and I borrowed a little point and shoot from my mom, and I was so disappointed. So I went and bought a couple of 35mm cameras, but then it was getting a bit expensive. But then in 2005, I went to Germany on an engineering job, and we needed like tons of photographs, and I got my very first digital camera in Munich in 2005. And I think once I saw, hey, hang on a minute, in those days it was an 8 megapixel camera, but I could like take 350, 400 photographs on a 4
Wow.
megabyte whatever
So
memory card. And I'm like, wow.
it's
And
crazy.
then all of a sudden I got, so then I obviously found out about editing, the post-processing stuff, and then bang, yes, then all of a sudden all the creativity started coming out, and I like to use
Wow.
editing as a tool as well. I don't manipulate my photographs.
I get what you're saying.
Enhance them with
Mhm.
editing.
Right,
So,
right.
but I think probably that turning point was probably 2005 when I picked up that digital camera in Germany. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Here we go.
A long-winded.
Go ahead. No, that was really good. No, let's. No, I just lost it.
Don't you?
No, you'll believe this. Hold on a second. I just had the questions over here. They said, okay, here we go.
Oh, come on, man.
Dude, I know I'm fired, dude. Trust me, I'm fired. You won't believe. See, I got started talking to you, and I got all excited. I hit the wrong button. Here we go. All right, here we go. All right. This is it. There. How important is storytelling in photography, and how do you incorporate it?
That's a very good question.
Really,
I mean,
seriously? I thought it was one of the corny ones. I was just going to make fun of it.
Well, it kind of
person that
is,
gave me
but I'm not going to offend whoever sent that question in. Because,
I can't. I'll offend them. That was the dumbest question I heard. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, that's okay. Nobody knows me yet, so I can't.
Everybody knows you.
I've got to behave myself at the moment, so to a degree. But
It's to a degree, yeah.
yeah, I think it's important. It depends what documentary photography. I mean, you want to be able to tell a story with documentary stuff, because it's not documentary photography if you're not telling a story.
Right.
But what I like to do is let you make up their own story. I mean, there is a story behind this photograph, but there's no story in the photograph. Okay, I'm not telling a story with this photograph. Okay,
Right.
I mean, for to all intents and purposes, that's a campaign photograph for a fashion brand. And in fact, the cape that she was wearing was kindly lent by a lady by the name of Kat Jemison, who's got her own fashion brand in Jersey. So that was part of the shoot.
Right.
But okay, whilst it is
still
a campaign shot, yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Have you got me?
I got you, my
Hey,
friend.
Paxton, can you hear me?
I'm
Paxton?
still, just call me David or Ricky every now and then. Go ahead. Marty, go ahead. I got you.
Hey, Dave. You there?
Yeah, I'm
You
ready.
there, Dave?
I'm right here.
Come on.
I'm right here. Phil, I
All
got
right,
you, Phil.
all right, Dave.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, okay, good.
We
So-
should just do
so,
that.
yeah,
We
well-
should totally do Phil and Dave. We should just do Phil and Dave hour, and we just talk about whatever. But go ahead. You were saying, please.
Just give me a beer and call me Ricky, and I'm.
Just do what we're gonna do. both gonna have
You
a
thought I
beer and
was-
just do shit.
I don't drink, so it could be a lot of fun.
I was just gonna say, you give me a beer. I have one beer a whole year, so it'll be a long time before I finish it.
I haven't touched one in 24 years, so it could be very interesting.
Okay. That sounds like me.
So,
and
yeah,
I,
like
and
I said,
Oh, go ahead. Right.
yeah. So like, I mean, they're not really. I mean, when I like even the photograph of the park sign or the Avernia Hotel and whatnot. Yes, it's a story, but it's not telling a story. It's giving the viewers the opportunity to make their own stories up. They're asking questions, and if the photograph is having the viewer ask the questions about it, and making the stories up, then that to me is more important than the photograph
Interesting.
itself telling a story.
Very interesting.
Because,
Is that
right?
has that been the norm for you? Have you been that way from the beginning, or did you around 2005? There's a bad phone. Around 2005, did you decide to just start doing that, or has that always been the way you've been with a camera? Let the photograph tell the story.
I think it's probably, I don't know, when I first started with film photography and whatnot, I think I was probably, as an amateur, I hadn't developed my own style or whatever, so I was just taking photographs of everything and anything, and documenting instead of
Storytelling. I mean, presenting.
Instead of presenting something for viewers to look at and
Correct.
Although there was probably something of that in there, but I was still developing. That was still developing, and certainly I would say probably in the last 15 or 20 years or so, it's become a lot more prevalent.
All right, so here we go.
That's as deep as I get.
That was good. That was very, very good. Whoever wrote that question, I mean, people will get a kick out of that. Here we go. This one, I've handpicked to end the show. Has photography changed the way you see the world?
It's very difficult the way the world is at the moment. I think the world has changed. The problem is, I think we're getting so conditioned by social media and stuff like that our views of the world, I think, are being probably shaped by that. But if I take that question in kind of just play with the words a bit, yes, I see the world differently. So I mean, if I'm sat in Starbucks and a girl walks in or whatever, I don't look at her as a girl. I look at her as somebody that is going to what she's going to look like in front of the camera.
Yeah, correct. Right.
If I see a flower on the side of the road, I don't see that as a flower on the side of the road. I see it. I'm already deciding how many angles I can take photographs of that flower from, and I see the color and I see the way the light is shining on it, and so on and so forth. So in that respect, yes. The world as a whole, no. I as I said, I think that's all being shaped by external influences that we have no control over.
Yeah. You're he's filtering everybody. There's a lot he could say about this, but we're on YouTube. But
yeah.
I'm fascinated by the fact that you picked up the camera again, and that we get to benefit from that. What? After your equipment was stolen, you picked it up. You said a decade later. Did I understand that correctly? Yeah.
About a decade later, probably about 12 years later. I never lost my love for it. I never.
But you're shooting differently though. But you're shooting differently than when you first picked it up.
Oh yeah. I mean, essentially, when I went and bought the film cameras, to go back down to the second, I bought those cameras so that I could go and take photographs of the motorcycle racing, the Grand Prix racing, and have good photographs. But when I got the digital camera, my first digital camera, which was a Panasonic FZ30,
wow,
a Lumix FZ30, 8 megapixel. It was like get above 200 ISO. It was so noisy, it was ridiculous. But then when I started photographing with intention, then my photography changed, and now when I'm in the studio, when I'm on the street, or whatever, when I'm doing stuff like this with Jacqueline or with Sammy, I'm very lucky because she just allows me to experiment as much as I want.
Nice.
And I use a lot of the techniques that I used to use when I was shooting film. So
right. You have given me a lot to laugh with when we talked, but you fascinate me about the way you do see the world, or at least the way you capture individuals that are in the world and things in the world. The current pictures you have of flowers, if make sure I got that right? The pictures you took recently of flowers or a flower. They're on your Instagram, I believe, and I have some of them here.
Yeah, I think I sent you one or two. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have not seen some of his work, you may have touched on some of it by passing through here with us on Man with the Mic. But I'm about to show everyone at least 4 minutes of some of his work, 3 minutes and 50 seconds of it. And we're going to end the show right now. I know many of you are accustomed to me doing it a certain way on our NATV network and other places and other channels that we have and other platforms. But today, I want your work, my friend, to close the show out. And I want everybody to get a chance to take a look at it here on YouTube. Some of you may have seen it already on Instagram. But I love talking to you. I wish I could record our pre-show chat, but
and the
we
chat before that.
really can't do that. I don't think that's possible. It's a very opinionated chat that we could get into, but I want to be able to do that with you, and we're going to work something out to make that happen.
Well, you see, I behaved for the first 8 seconds, right?
I'm freaking out that you behaved. I was ready for you, man. And I don't have a button over here I'm going to push. I'm going to let you just go ahead and just be yourself. If you come on, Man with the Mic, anybody's question it, and many of you already know me and have done other stuff with me, and some of you are going to come on, but anybody new, like I told you, just be yourself. Just be yourself. That's all you can do. Everybody is going to fall in love with you as is. You're an amazing person. You got a lot going on. I told you I want you to come back. But everybody, please stick around and watch this video if you are just coming in right now. And stay tuned for those of you who are new, who don't know this. We shoot it live, no interruptions, as is, and then I go back and clean it up. So you'll see a cleaned up version later where it'll be nice and smooth and everything, and no glitches from me in it. But you're going to enjoy getting to know Neil. I am asking everyone, like usual, you need to DM him, connect with him, so that you can get him to work for your corporate office, whatever it may be. You need some corporate pictures. You need anything. You need a story to be told, and you have one to tell. He can maybe capture it and add life to it. So everyone, please make sure you get a hold of Neil, and hopefully, Neil, they'll get to see more of you here on Man with the Mic. You've been really good. This is the first live like this with someone, and I've been waiting to do it with just you. So thank you from my heart for doing this.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Your first guinea pig that I did. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, and you kept on calling me Phil. Well, fine.
I know. Hey, I just got your attention though. Hey, Phil, you still out there, Phil? All right, so
I almost told you F off, but I mean,
I was waiting for you to just do it. You know you were going to do it. You wanted to do it so bad. You go like, no, Paxton told me be on my best behavior. So yeah. Any last words of advice for, I'm going to say 3 different groups. You just go with it. And then I'm going to play a video. And then I will talk to you again. The video is going to play. If you still stick around in the green room and then the video's done, and when I end the show, then I'll talk to you. But if not, I am going to reach out to you again. But 3 groups of people, words of advice for 1, amateur photographers or people interested in photographers, for anybody that wants to model for you or wants to hire you to take some pictures of them. And the 3rd person you give advice to is, well, here we go. Anybody that watches this show, what advice do you give them that have watched you today? Any advice that you would give anybody that watched you today? What advice would you give them?
Stop watching.
You were gonna do it. I knew if I asked you that, you would say, "Know you so well." Okay, advice for beginning photographers.
Beginning photographers, amateur photographers.
Yep.
Be passionate. Practice, practice, practice. Do not get discouraged. Don't listen to all these people at the camera clubs, all the camera snobs, all the gear snobs.
Camera snobs. I like that.
Develop your own style and shoot from your heart. shoot from here. Don't you forget about your f-stops and your all that stuff will happen. Okay, your f-stops and your shutter speeds and ISOs and whatnot. Develop your eye and practice, and use your heart. Put your heart into it. Put your own self into those photographs.
If somebody wants to hire you to take pictures of them or wants to model with you or whatever, words of advice or whatever you want to pass on to them before we go.
First of all, have a check that's big enough. Check that's big enough.
You know what? Sometimes I think he's not going to say something like that. And sure enough, both times, he's being honest, everybody. First, look at me in the camera, people. He's being honest. Don't call him unless you got money to pay. So don't call him unless you're ready. If you can't play, it's okay. You just find somebody else. Yeah. So, all right.
Well,
Go ahead.
That's right. I always say...
Don't clean it up now. Don't clean it up now. It's too late.
No. Models are always welcome to approach me with ideas to shoot with me. Remember that I live in New York. If you want to pay my airfare and my
hotel room, 5 star.
5 star. Yeah. Nothing less than 5 stars. So
no Motel 6. No, I don't want to go down and get breakfast. I want breakfast to come to me.
Right. I want, if it's hot and humid, I want somebody with a palm frond. Luxury. No, if a model wants to hire me, the worst thing that a model can do, especially if nobody knows who she is approach me and try to get me to photograph her free of charge.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, that would be a problem.
And it happens a lot. If you approach me, expect to pay. If I approach you to work with me, I expect to pay you. It's as simple as that.
A good one.
And if it's a collaboration that you want, at least tell me what I get out of the collaboration.
What I get out of the collaboration?
I don't need somebody with 250 people on Instagram saying, "Well, you'll get all the exposure." And so, that might sound a little bit harsh, but no, anybody with a solid idea and a good and a budget, and I'm flexible. I mean, I joke about having a checkbook this big, but that always helps. But I'm flexible with my budgets. I tailor make with my pricing. I tailor make my prices to suit people's needs. So, and that's why I price my art photography at different prices. I price it at gallery level prices up to $3,000. Yeah. And I can but you can have a piece of my photography at $50. So I try and cater for everybody, and it's the same with people that want to work with me. If you've got a budget, you've got a solid budget, come to me, tell me what the budget is, and we'll see what we can do. We'll try and work with it, as long as it means that it's beneficial for both of us, for both parties. Then we'll make it work.
Hey, it's business, okay, everybody. So it's not.
I mean, it's a love, but it is a business because I still have to.
It's a business.
Still got to pay the IRS, and they.
Yeah, you got that. I tell people that all the time when they come and ask us for stuff, and go like, "Okay, we actually do stuff above board, cause I've never been audited, so I'm trying to keep it that way." But when it comes to your business, you are available for people. You contact and connect with him. Everybody, you know who you are. Many of you who have been following us for a while, you have really good businesses. And I told you this guy was going to be here, and you're going to get a benefit from Neil, not Phil, but from Neil. And Neil, you've just been a true treat. I appreciate it, man, dude. What is wrong with me? I can't speak. All right, I appreciate.
You waste. I'm sending you a freaking invoice.
I knew you were. Everybody, I gotta go. Because he's gonna send me an invoice. I got to go. So here comes the video. I am going to relieve Phil, and I'm going to relieve Neil from being in the studio. That was Phil that asked about the invoice. Neil is going to be relieved from the studio, and I am going to hit a video for everybody to watch. So everybody, we appreciate you being here. Neil Tandy. Don't forget the name. Educate yourself. Tell your friends. More importantly, some of you out there who have these beautiful women in your life, or you got a handsome man, you need to reach out to Neil and book a session and capture some of that beauty that you have in your house, and let Neil go to work. He's not for free, everybody. So don't play around with the man unless you're serious. Okay, serious inquiries only. All right. So
Excellent.
if
Thank
not,
you, buddy.
hey, I got you covered, buddy. I got you. Those looky loos. You tell them keep on, hit the road. All right. I'll see those voyeur photographers and stuff like that. Tell them hit the road. So I'll see you later, my friend. I'm gonna take him out of the studio. Everybody, you know what that means. He'll be still here, or I will talk to you later. Take care, Neil. Thanks for the day. Okay, everybody. Here we go. I'm gonna do this. And I'm about to disappear, but first I'm going to do